10 unbelievable sea monsters scarier than Megalodon. The Megalodon was a massive shark that ruled the oceans as a predator millions of years ago, long before humans evolved. But if the idea of Megalodon makes you poop your pants, you'll be stunned to know that the world has seen some even more terrifying sea monsters since then, and some of them could have literally gobbled up a Megalodon too. Curious to find out more? Keep watching, and welcome to the Majestic! In this video, we're giving you a roundup of 10 unbelievable sea monsters scarier than the Megalodon. Before we continue, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Let's begin! Number 10. Mosasaurus. Mosasaurus was the fierce ruler of the sea during the Cretaceous period around 100 million years ago. This ruthless predator looked like a huge sea dinosaur. However, scientists say that the Mosasaurus was actually a reptile related to lizards and snakes. Although the Mosasaurus varied in size, the largest of the species is said to have reached 50 feet, called the Tylosaurus. Imagine this huge beast with a long, flexible body and huge flippers on the limbs and tail, killing and swallowing anything in its sight. This apex predator had double hinged jaws and 2 rows of teeth in its upper jaw that would help it open wide, grip, and swallow anything, including sharks, sea monsters, and even other mosasaurs. Fossils of this sea creature were first discovered in the Meuse River in Holland in 1764, which also gave the reptile its name. Mosasaurus translates to lizard of the Meuse River, but soon, Cretaceous rock fossils of the Mosasaurus were found on almost every continent. It's a relief that Mosasaurs became extinct 65 million years ago, about the same time as dinosaurs, because even the scariest sea creatures today are no match for the Mosasaurus. Number 9. Plesiosaurus. The mythical Loch Ness Monster is considered the ocean's most deadly creature, making appearances in a number of movies and TV shows. But what if we told you the creature actually existed in the Pacific Ocean about 66 million years ago? The Plesiosaurus were huge marine reptiles that would measure up to 43 feet long. The most fascinating feature of these sea monsters were their long, serpentine necks that made up about half their total length. Their necks were made up of about 10 times the vertebrae of a human's neck. These massive monsters had razor-sharp teeth and a 33,000 psi bite force that would help them hunt other sea creatures while moving through the ocean in a flying-like motion similar to a dragonfly. Number 8. Bobbit Worms. Earthworms are considered harmless creatures, but imagine a worm growing 10 feet long, residing under the ocean floor, ready to hunt. This is the description of a sea monster discovered in 1994, Eunice aphroditois, also known as the bobbit worm. These deadly worms still stay inside the floor of the warmer oceans of the world, only exposing their mouths open like bear traps. The rest of their 10-foot rainbow-colored body remains underground. These beasts lack any instinct except hunger, which makes them capture and eat anything they feel with their antennas. Next, their razor-sharp pharynx muscles slice their prey in half. The nightmare continues after the bobbit worm drags the prey down into the ocean ground with it, erasing any evidence that the prey once existed. Instances of smaller bobbit worms being found in aquatic rocks have also been recorded in the last decade. However, worms this huge only reside under warm ocean floors. Number 7. Frilled Sharks. Frilled sharks are weird-looking creatures. Their long, eel-like bodies stretch to 7 feet in length, while their fins are placed at the far end of their tails. What's most intriguing about these sea serpents is that they look like terrifying prehistoric monsters, but are actually alive today. This is because it is estimated that frilled sharks have been alive for about 80 million years, making these horrible monsters living fossils. Frilled sharks can be found in waters 390 to 4,200 feet deep, but they are very rarely found. For this reason, scientists have had a hard time studying them. What is known about them is that they are fierce predators. This is evident from their incredible teeth. Frilled sharks have 25 rows of trident-shaped teeth that can scare anyone to death. These bright teeth are also used as a lure for prey. Number 6. Stethacanthus. The Stethacanthus is proof that being huge is not necessary to qualify as a terrifying creature. This extinct prehistoric shark would only measure up to 2 meters in length, but it's much more deadly than you'd think. The Stethacanthus looks like a normal shark with sharp teeth and a pointed face, but instead of the average shark's dorsal fin, the Stethacanthus had a strange anvil-shaped spike on its head. Some scientists describe the strange feature as an ironing board, yet no one knows for sure what its purpose was, except amplifying the shark's frightening appearance. The Stethacanthus fossils were discovered in the 19th century in Europe, but paleontologists claim that these monstrous creatures still live in coastal areas around the world. So, what do you think of our video so far? Are you familiar with any of these wild beasts? Let us know in the comments. Number 5. Dunkleosteus. About 358 million years ago, land animals didn't exist. This period was called the Devonian Age of Fishes. Back then, what is now Northeast Ohio was an ocean dominated by fierce sea predators. The Dunkleosteus was a 20-meter-long fish known to rule these waters. This terrifying predator didn't have a skeleton, it had an armor. Its bones were actually thick plates that extended to its thick, fang-like teeth, making it strong enough to turn sharks into sludge. Dunkleosteus were strong enough to even attack and eat one another. Yes, they had cannibal tendencies. When their fossils were discovered in 1867, the scientists termed it the terrible fish. That's enough proof of how terrifying they were. Number 4. Liopleurodon. The Liopleurodon was a shorter yet scarier cousin to the long-necked Plesiosaur. This short-necked beast lived during the Middle Jurassic period, about 160 million years ago, in oceans across the world. Liopleurodon grew up to 30 feet and weighed 2.5 tons, twice as much as a great white shark. These ferocious predators stood out because of their huge skulls, which were about 1/6 of their total length. Judging by their weight and the arrangement of sharp teeth in its mouth, the Liopleurodon was the apex predator of its time, chomping up any creature it would catch. It gets scarier. Nothing could escape the Liopleurodon because it had 4 broad flippers that would help it reach an unearthly speed. Hiding from the Liopleurodon was also no use. Its nostril placement helped this beast have an incredible sense of smell. Now that we have arrived to our top 3, stay until the end to find out which creature has the reputation for being the most dangerous creature to walk this earth. You'll be shocked to learn which one's in first place. Number 3. Basilosaurus. The word Basilosaurus translates to king lizard, but the Basilosaurus was not actually a reptile. It was a whale that looked like a reptile. If that didn't creep you out, the Basilosaurus had a snake-like body that would stretch up to 70 feet in length, with a head like a crocodile and a mouth with sharp teeth. These predators also had strong jaws that would help them catch and immediately gobble up prey smaller than its size, including sharks and whales. Their size also indicates that they were probably one of the biggest predators of the Eocene period, about 34 million years ago. It's interesting that fossils of the Basilosaurus that resided in oceans across the world weren't found until the 19th century in Alabama. It's even more surprising that before being discovered as the bones of a prehistoric animal, the fossils were used as furniture by the locals who found them in abundance. After the American Philosophical Society tested the samples, it was revealed that these fossils belonged to one of the world's most terrifying sea creatures. Number 2. Livyatan Melvillei. The Livyatan Melvillei was an ancient species of sperm whale that existed on the Peruvian coast about 12 million years ago in the Miocene epoch. What makes the Livyatan Melvillei so astonishing is that these whales were about 30 feet long, with just their heads being about 10 feet long. The name Livyatan Melvillei is a hybrid of the biblical sea monster Leviathan and Moby Dick author Herman Melville. This is because the Leviathan, like the Livyatan Melvillei, would prey on whales between 7 and 10 feet long. These killer whales had a mouthful of teeth that would grow up to 1 foot long, tearing the flesh of even the largest animals, inflicting wounds so deep the prey had no way to escape. Their size also meant that these whales needed to eat a lot. It's a blessing that they are extinct now, because when a Livyatan Melvillei was hungry, it would spare nothing in sight. Number 1. Helicoprion. Now for number 1 on our list. The Helicoprion can easily be called the world's most dangerous killing machine. The anatomy of this strange ancient shark puzzles scientists to this day. The 270-million-year-old fossils of the Helicoprion have a set of spiral bones. After years of speculation and research, paleontologists came to the conclusion that the Helicoprion was a 25-foot-long shark with a spiral saw for teeth. The teeth were so strong that they could cut through shells of ammonites. Helicoprion's fossils are still being found in the Ural Mountains, Western Australia, and China. The more we find out about this deadly creature, the more we're relieved it doesn't exist anymore. That's a wrap for 10 unbelievable sea monsters scarier than Megalodon. Which of these terrify you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.